I wanted to jump on here really quick and give you guys just a little behind the scenes of today with what I've been working on and how AI has been this amazing tool to help me get so much finished in such a short amount of time. You know, I very much love AI. I think it is an amazing tool, and when it's used to undergird already our creativity and our thoughts and how we operate, I think that it is just like that chef's kiss, really. It's like the icing on the cake. So anyway, today I was updating my photography website because I'm moving it to a different platform, basically making it more into like a sales page type thing, where because I am just serving my local area, so I'm not super worried about ranking top on like a Google search page for photographers in Arkansas. I just want to rank in the photographers in my area. And I also just wanted a place to where I could have people go in order to see my portfolio, book a session, etc., etc. I didn't really need anything extensive, and the site that I was using before is like amazing with SEO and stuff, so I wanted to switch over and put my AI business on that, and then move my photography to something that's great, but not maybe as good. So anyway, that long story, I was updating all of that, and you know, like designing the website and stuff, I love doing that. I think that is super fun. I get into Canva and I start playing around with designs, and I upload the photos and I make the text different and all that stuff, and it's super fun. But what really bogs me down when it comes to like building a website is just filling in all the alt text and the description of the site and all the stuff that makes the SEO juice, right? So that is where I was able to use AI as an assistant, and basically what I would have already done if I were to have hired an SEO expert is I pretty much went in and I said, like, this is the area I serve, this is what I offer, these are the kind of people I want to attract, I want it to be people who are just searching this local area, etc., etc. I just gave like a rundown of my business and who I was wanting to serve, and then I told it to do extensive research and come back to me with a SEO rich description with basically a template for my alt text, which was basically like description of photo, and it did this really cool thing where it had fill in the blanks, like what is this photo about, where was this photo taken, what's in the photo, and then it had just the template of like my name and location and all that stuff. So it was super awesome. So it was just like a copy paste with the alt text, which is filling in like wedding photo, bride and groom, and then where it was taken. So that was super helpful. Writing descriptions that I could put on each page of the new site, and just being able to enhance the SEO super quick was amazing. And all I did was just put all the information in there, and I made it do all the research for me, and then I made it write it for me too, because when it comes to filling in SEO and alt text, that does not matter if those are my thoughts. In fact, I don't really want them to be my thoughts. I want them to be Google juice, right? So I don't care if it's not written to sound like me or something. That doesn't matter. So I feel like in that instance, ChatGPT was sufficient, if not even better, in just writing those descriptions, helping with the alt text, and anywhere else that I needed to plug in that SEO. So that was the first way that I used AI today, and it saved me so much time because I have built many websites and most of them were not with AI. So I was super thankful for my assistant today on that. The next way that I used AI today, which was so helpful, is I had 70 unread emails this morning. Oh my goodness. And that was just what I had received from Monday. And I just had not had the time or the mental space to go through these emails. And lots of them were just pitches. I had several pitches for this podcast, and then I had a couple pitches for my other podcast. And I was like, I need to go through these. I wish I had an assistant who could just look over these emails, see if these people align with my values, so that I know, should I actually respond and say, yes, I'd be interested in you being a guest, or should I say, no, I don't think we're a good fit? And I just didn't have time to do all of that research and to go through the emails, look all these people up. So what I did is I plugged the emails and all the links that were sent into my assistant, into ChatGPT. And since it's trained to already know who my ideal client is, who my podcast is directed to, what my values are, what's important to me whenever doing this podcast, I was able to just ask it to evaluate these emails, evaluate the people, do research on each of the people, and tell me, do you think that this person would actually be a good fit for the podcast or not, based on what you know about me and my podcast? And so it did. It searched their website. It came back. One of them, it came back and it was like, yes, this one would be amazing fit because she's also a mom and she's using AI in this way, and you could present this topic and this idea and it would resonate well with your audience and what you're already sharing. And then another one came back and was like, no, this is not a good fit. Like, she's not really in the industry and really versed in the topics that you're interested in, yada, yada, yada. And then that was so helpful because the ones where it was like, yeah, I think that would be a good fit, I was able to say, okay, well, pull me the details about this person. Like, give me a rundown. Who is this person? Based on like their online profile, their website, all the links that they had shared with me. I was like, give me who this person is so that I can learn a little bit more about them really quick. And so it did that. And then I also had it craft me an email saying, hey, you would be an amazing fit for the podcast. Here are some topics that we could cover based on the information I've learned about you. And that was so amazing because if I had hired a podcast assistant who was looking to get me interviews and to do this kind of thing, then they would have done the same thing. But what was so awesome is how I could use AI to do that for me, so that it ended up what would have taken me a couple hours to just go through and see and figure out, are they a good fit? Are they not a good fit? Because I have like a really strict guideline on who would be good on this podcast and who would not. And so instead of spending all that time going through, instead in 5 minutes, I had a rundown of who the person was and whether or not they would be a good fit. And I was able to answer all these emails within like 10-15 minutes and be finished with that. So I wasn't leaving people just hanging in the inbox, not knowing whether I'd got the email or if I was just a ghoster, because it's the most important to me that I communicate back, even if it's just like, hey, no, thanks so much for contacting me, but I don't think we're a good fit. So anyway, that was the other way that I used AI today that saved me so much time. So I was able to finish up my website, get it up to speed SEO wise, answer all of my emails, and do that before I had to head into town to run errands. And I just thought that was so cool because all it did was cost me $20 a month. And honestly, it could have been free, except that I just like the features of the paid ChatGPT. So that's all to say, when you learn how to use ChatGPT AI as an amazing tool, whenever it knows the stuff about your business so that you're able to plug in emails, to plug in those pitches, to plug in that SEO information, and then it can spit you out stuff that's actually useful, that is when AI is just absolutely amazing for us as moms. So if you are interested, because I have to put a little plug in here, because they say that if you don't talk about what you have, then nobody's going to talk about it. So if you're interested in having a trained assistant where you can just plug in emails, where you can plug in your website stuff so that it'll give you that SEO, so that it can help you with these kind of projects, I would love so much if you would message me, or there'll be a link in the show notes where you can go and book a free coffee chat and we can just talk about whether my one-on-one training would be a good fit for you, whether that is something that would be that lifesaver, that time saver, that thing that takes away that mental suck for you. And as always, I love that y'all are joining me for these random ramblings. And until next time, go make AI work for you. That's it for today's episode. I hope you learned something new or had a breakthrough. If you loved this episode, take a second to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. It lets me know you're enjoying this content and helps more moms find it. And if you know another mama who's struggling with overwhelm and burnout, share this with her. Let's spread the word that AI isn't just for corporate executives or tech nerds, it's for moms like us. Until next time, go make AI work for you.